Good afternoon. It's me again. I did just a few minutes before the introduction live, and this is just to introduce to the project that I have over here in YouTube. That, as I say, I'm posting some video, not in a chronological order, but in a topics order, and there are even some video that about what I my personal life path. Apart when I was traveling, a project that I did for my career, so a project that I worked for a long time about writing report and so on, and as well about writing narrative. So there is as well a video about a book that I started to write in 2012, but I will publish at some point. And there is just a recording of 11 minutes of a chapter that I was publishing online as a video. I'm telling you that because my project in future is to follow professionally to writing, not just as I'm doing now through the post in LinkedIn or through some article that I do for my own entertainment, as well professionally. And I have a project about Dreizehn mystery, so a collection of book on a series like style of Jessica Fletcher, and mainly about not more about crime because I'm really fed up with crime. There are some videos that perhaps I will post in future that I felt quite a lot of trouble, but since a child. So time to time in my in some folder like bibliography video movies, there are some trailer of I posted already some trailer of some movie that resembling really what was happening in my real life. As I say, movie most of the time resembling real life story. So definitely plenty of people for what they face in their life in some sort of movie can find some matching with their own adventure, or anyway with their own particular time of life. That most of the time when it's a thriller or crime movie are not so pleasant. Apart if at the end you are still alive, then everything gets quite fine and so on. But anyway, so as I was saying, this series I would like to do much more of mysteries. Historical mystery, but from a sociological point of view, from a personal experience point of view, so from the people perspective, from the personal story perspective, from a history book that at some point I have to say that I was not a fan of history when I was studying a school time, and usually I was in a scientific lyceum, so of course I was much more concentrated on math, physics, Latin, literature as well. I enjoyed quite a lot of poetry and so on and writing. But history was just the topic that was always living at the end of the evening, because I say I don't want to do, I don't want to do. Then I was going to dinner, I say I do after dinner, and then I was always when I had to study story, falling asleep with the book open. Luckily, anyway, I passed the historic lesson even with a basic mark, but I didn't like the usual way of studying it. I prefer this history. I much more remember the history that I studied through the Latin literature and through the Italian literature, because then the introduction were always historical context and so on, and the one that I remember. So it is very useful, has been very useful even for my life. So as I say, I will definitely, Dear My Love, the book that I wrote already is about my personal life. In 2012, I was going back to London after I spent already 3 years in London since 2005 to 2008, January 2008. Um, but I was leaving London already in September 2008. So I was back in 2012, back to London, and then Dear My Love is the book that I started in a cafe, in a Starbucks. I was there in a computer. It's funny the way it started, and I wanted to. I already did, I think, a video, a personal video, not in a live, but it was quite funny. The reason why I start to write this book. Before to move to London, back to London, I was practicing English. Usually when I practice English, unless I can speak now with a live, usually I was doing writing more for the vocabulary, so looking the word, the peculiar word in dictionary, even for spending a nice time writing in a foreign language. So I was already writing a short story, 10 chapter. Actually, that is 10 chapter is not a short story, but it's a little booklet, Mr. Rainbow called, about sort of mysteries. There was a crime and so on, no? But it was a pleasant life of a middle-aged woman that live and happens something peculiar in her life, and there is the usual nice co-protagonist male, so quite pleasant, basic story. At some point, I will use it. I was planning to use it as well in future for another project. And so I was in London in a cafe. I was looking for a job, and I was in a very tough time. And I think that usually I'm very sociable in a way, even when I was, especially in London, when I was studying over here, usually I was always so in my room, studying or outside in university environment, sport environment, swimming and so on. So I was obviously very social with the mate over there and so on, both female and male and so on. But usually when I arrived in London on my own, there was already a very sociable atmosphere, very friendly, very. So I had the chance, of course, of being very sociable myself and talking to quite a lot of people. It was very, very pleasant time. When I came back the second time in 2012, I was, of course, looking for a job. To say that I noticed already the atmosphere in London was completely different, both from an economic, there was already the economical crisis in 2008, and you could perceive that even in the whole atmosphere. There was not anymore that magic atmosphere in London and so on. Something was broken, and definitely. So I was anyway in my with my laptop at the Starbucks enjoying a coffee, and there was a guy citing myself, and I say it was quite peculiar because I was already noticing since I arrived that someone was exchanging me for someone else. Because I was already perceiving in London in 2007 when I decided to move away because were happening something very peculiar in future. In my book, there is something in future eventually I will tell, but definitely there was something strange. I was feeling and perceiving that the people, even people that I used to know, was exchanging me for someone else. It was quite peculiar because I say they don't recognize myself. Of course, after I was passing, definitely I was feeling quite different because, of course, it was quite peculiar thing that were happening. So as I say, but I perceived that there was strange people seems not following me, but in the surrounding with the strange accent and so on, and I couldn't figure out the reason why. And there was these guys that were studying myself as I should know them or interact with them. So I was very peculiarly embarrassed in every place I was going. If I was going in a place where to sleep, in a place where to hang out and so on, in a bus, there was always a group of people like following me, or anyway, there I was perceiving some sort of attention. No, not always, of course, because London is very big, so it's impossible to have all the people. But there was some certain condition. I was feeling this. I was perceiving this feeling, so I started to write, just to get rid of this embarrassing attention on my side. Like I had a pseudo husband or boyfriend far away, like in war. I was writing. I started, dear Melo, like I was writing a letter. I ended up to write. quite a lot of letters. The book has a 30, more than 30 chapter or letter that I was following to write and enjoying writing. So it's quite nice, because then I was describing my daily routine, what was happening when I was at work, what I was eating, things flash back of course, to my past, all the memories of mine when I was growing up eventually, or when I was getting even there a bike, and so also starting to go with a bike, and that remind me when the first time I was learning to ride. I was here in Italy in a courtyard, and I was driving. Uh, Driving the bike, and there was my father from the back holding it, so it was very nice. So it was quite a dearest memory of mine. There are quite a few. Is all focused on myself, so there are no people mentioned, no other people apart from even sometimes casual people, angel, they were passing by, saving my life from from a bus crash, because sometimes I was quite distracted, like walking, very distracted, thinking, always thinking what to do and so on, and time to time also in the bus, almost crashing myself at some point, or other type of accident might have happened, and ending in a bad way. And instead there was a casual angel passing by and saving my life. It was quite memorable for myself. So I was recording even this memory in this book. So as I said, the project in the future will be definitely through the video, starting to collect this sort of as I'm doing now. There are plenty of video when I travel, or video that of my daily routine, and so on and so on. But then, of course, will be even full with some writing, and the Sandy Dreizehn mystery, of course, will start with my own. So I'm trying already to, since a while, to try to see my historical, anthropological, genetical um, origin and so on. Even because, as I say, usually I had quite even when I was writing this book, I was even in tough time, without no money, without no job. So I was really living in a homeless condition, and by not, as I say, not pleasant, no. Of course, it cannot be pleasant, but I was psychologically, I was having that attitude of overpassing it with a nice psychological in a nice psychological with a nice attitude and so on. So that is, it was quite nice, because it was a time to take a break from all the stress. I had to do that, I had to look for a job, I had to pay the rent and so on. All this stress that time to time come in your life, and feeling the having the ability of the not the ability the possibility to have that feeling that you don't need anything in your, you are independent, even if you're homeless. As I say, you have to eat, of course. I was always writing CV and looking for a job, giving CV. Most of the time I found a job, but in the break in between, usually it was a quite a nice experience. That fact that you really can live with. I was living even with €1 per week, and so on and so on. So no any stress, no having responsibility, and that. I don't know, it was a cathartic for my being and my soul. And of course, now I can, I faced much more stress, danger, and so on. Even in London, I say, time to time, I was sleeping outside. At times, I was feeling much more safe than inside the accommodation, and so on. So, usually, I was trying to stay where I was feeling much safer. It could be even a peculiar place where you feel much more safe than with time to time with people that you might know, something like that. So it's something, as I say, it's quite peculiar even that time of life. So I was starting to know myself much, much more, what I like, who I am. Because I've been always independent. I was not listening to anyone. I want to do everything on my own. It has been my reason for living and so on, being independent, being able, whatever to realize something, my dream to realize on my own, to a project or something, to do all on my own. It was always, I remember when every time parents was trying to help me, I was just always saying, no, 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 solo, 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 or something like that. I remember they were telling me time to time, I remember to stay this solo, 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 something like that. Da sola, something like that. Anyway, it's quite a nice anyway project that hopefully to have the time and no have stress to carry on with this project. Even information about my background originally, because I say usually, as I say, when I was looking through myself even before, because I've always been quite pensive, reserved, and so on. I like philosophy and studying philosophy, reading about philosophy, religion from a philosophic point of view, and so on. Asking myself the big question: why we are here, what made me happy, and so on. And time to time, I realize what really make me happy, and so on. And most of the time is simply that the the possibility to do whatever I like to do in each instant of my life. If I want something and have that, of course, in the little things, I cannot have, I want a Lamborghini, no, I can have that, of course not. I could, if I work on something and try to, as I said, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying about the little things, about what I like to do. If I like to travel, of course, if you have to travel, then you have to have a job that support yourself. But even in that, if I want to do a travel, I don't have enough money, try into the budget to do anyway similar things as I could have all the world in the money, all the money in the world. And so if I have to do a picnic, even if I have not so much money, I can arrange anyway some nice things anyway nearby without spending money and so on. So usually you will see even in the post anyway into the video will be even when I can afford something quite nice and so on, or will be quite pleasant even the video, because you can go in very pleasant and elegant place that I quite enjoy, or eventually simply natural place and just nice view and so on. That are, luckily, the view at the moment are not expensive, I suppose. If you do the shot of the landscape in some place, are the best view that you can have of should be free. I have to get information about that. Usually, I'm quite concerned about copyright issues, especially when I was doing a video and so on. And I was asking myself, I can do that, I can shoot of that or something like that. So is time to time anyway, I will know much more and so on. So this is, as I say, the project. Even looking back, my genealogical tree and so on, from which country really I'm original. Because I say, or now even since a while, there are countries where there are a very multicultural since the historically, with plenty of invasion and some sort of dominion of dynasty and so on, empire and so on. So as I say, it's very peculiar. Anyway, with the moving of people, anthropologically has been since a long time. So really know where you come from is quite peculiar. And time to time, I try to do the things on the opposite. So I know myself, I try to know what I like, and from that, trying to know the attitude with some sort of culture, or even for the religion. I know my spirituality. If I believe in an entity that can be Mother Nature, or a sort of deity, or a natural force, or divine force, for sure divine morality, that is my top aim every day, to act for myself, for feeling myself pure inside, white as much as I can, and so on. So it's something, and usually time to time, when I read the Bible, when I read the Quran, or I read Buddhism book, in future I will follow with my reading about religion. Usually I underline, or I really check the thing that match my own now I'm quite old, so my own belief that I, growing up, I was developing and testing myself in different environment and critically decide what is I think was the best choice, the best attitude, the best behavior towards myself, my choice, and other people, interacting with other people. So that is all. So this project, hopefully, I will have the time to go and visit Europe this summer. There is already a live that I did in Facebook. I was planning after ending the contract or the job to do a tour anyway before during the month's holiday to do a tour for all Europe and go from Austria, Germany, the Scandinavian place, France, then go to London, and then go back to Italy, stop somewhere, somewhere in Europe and so on. So this project unluckily has been messed up for plenty of reasons. Hopefully this reason will not follow me again next year, anyway in September and so on. And I can at some point, of course not in winter time. I had already there is the video about Christmas time I did abroad, and I was unlucky traveling in winter. I got my first car last in 2021, December 2021, my first car. And so I was starting to, before I was driving, of course, other car. But when, of course, I was starting to work, I was in London. In London, you really don't need a car. But I was able, of course, when I was back in 2017, to work for a bit, quite a few years. And I bought a car, and I was traveling. And I drive quite well, so I was not a problem to drive. But the problem was in different conditions. So when there is snow, when it's winter, when there is the fog. So last winter, so the one that I just passed has been for my training about driving in the worst condition has been the best, but the best of the worst that you can have. And so on for plenty of reasons. So as I say, definitely if I could do will be next summertime this tour. And I was trying to do that course because I'm studying languages. I know, of course, Italian, English. I'm studying French and German, and and mainly want to do a course, a full immersion summer course abroad, so you can really stay in a place for 2-3 weeks and experience the life over there and so on. And when I can go in some sort of library and so on, and the chance to read some old book because I love old book. Usually when I see this little place where they sell the book, really, I try to buy quite an old book because there is the old style of speaking, all the peculiar things you don't find in the new edition of the book, and hopefully to do some nice research for my uh, DNA and historical and cultural background, already starting the something, and let's see. So the first Sandy mystery book, Sandy Dreizehn mystery book, will be definitely on my own mystery, and then following with whatever I already signed some notes about future project for this Sandy Dreizehn mystery, about if there was some peculiar things from the past or some research to do on some cultural topic, then doing a book, even a short book that can be quite nice to read somewhere, or to just pocket book. Or maybe, as I say, just I'm the type of person, I talk quite a lot, but when I write, I'm really schematic, and I can even synthesize or summarize a big topic in just a few pages and so on. No, and so I want to really use this ability not just for a journalist, or anyway, journalist. I'm not a journalist, of course, but for writing for topics, different topics, but in narrative. I want to use this ability for doing quite a peculiar book that you can read annotating in one day, because then it should be very very, but at least in 1 week evenings, so 2-3 hours per evening reading. So it can be a much more effective book, because sometimes when are too big, then end up to be a nice training for the reading, for, but then as a story and mystery can be misplotting and so on, because there will be you might lose the line, the main line of the story. Anyway, so it's all for now. This is for the same introduction to my project. Today I was usually I check there are 20, some are not already and are already in my YouTube are not published, because I say I'm publishing step by step. I have order that I will publish, but I'm not uploaded yet. The problem is something I'm having some technical stress. I want to make sure that the quality of the video, because I already use it, I was already watching even in the TV, and the quality was perfect. Now in some videos, some quality give me a headache, so this is very annoying, because if you have to watch a video, you cannot watch, because they give you a headache after the first time. So I don't want that. This because there was not at the beginning. I don't want that they use the excuse. Anyway, as I say, I'm facing quite a lot of trouble since a while. I want to make sure that as a plenty, I admire the YouTuber, because they're sort of DIY lifestyle, and I love that. And they do always everything by themselves and so on. And this was my project since the beginning. So I did all on my own. But luckily, using the technology that I had, I could not be so safe. And time to time, the thing was crashing. The video I had to do 5 times after almost finishing, just to put the music. I had to do all for 5 times. So it was time to time really stressful. I couldn't even get some safe technology. I was even time to time to the shop, but for plenty of reason I could not buy a proper technology. And anyway, some sabotage I had in my perfect video as soon as I was publishing, because I was checking time to time. I was spending even the last minutes and so on for the little details and so on, and then I was publishing as someone, it was a completely cutted, completely misleading, all a mess. It doesn't mean anything, because the cut should mean something in the whole. And it was so stressful, because it seems usually when you save the video, and if you open up again, it misleads that, because if you save the last version, it's saved is all saved in that. If someone open, or anyway, if something is a bug, open it, then when we save again, is a complete another, is messed up, all the cut and the alignment. So usually I was posting and then looking, and there was some things wrong. So it's been quite a stressful time. And this project, I prefer eventually to get a break, and what I was trying to do. For this reason, I say I do this video, so eventually this live, so eventually if I'm not posting, I will postpone again this project, because I was postponing already last year, to avoid any sort of further sabotage, intrusion in my life, trying to all sorts of things. Anyway, I don't have to explain all, because I think plenty of people that plenty of YouTubers know perfectly the situation and so on. So as I say, I will eventually stop for now, and just back when I will be again in September with proper technology and so on and so on, and stop over here to follow with because I had already other 2 videos to post with the description, because I'm working even on the description that might be a booklet at the end, because they're quite nice, correlated, already printed out. So at the end can be really eventually even a nice booklet to sell when I will have some way of selling even the booklet from the YouTuber post and so on, with the description and eventually some picture will be quite nice. Already what I did in Instagram, I already create some booklet, photo booklet with all the posts, the video as well, with the barcode. So it's all saved in the booklet and so on. So now, as I say, something that is quite nice doing over here, and hopefully to don't have any more because I have to produce other 3 videos at least for the summer. Quite a long project. I was working on it my surface, as I say, quite a lot of stress, and I did even no stress um, reel, so that was usually, even last year when I was feeling stress, usually I was laughing on my own, like, oh my god, it's incredible. There is just a laugh, to not to cry but to laugh. Now I'm on my, it's left just to cry, because it's when it's too much, it's too much. But anyway, it's all for now, and that's it. Goodbye to everyone, and this streaming, I think, will be, I will keep, of course, in my own channel. Goodbye to everyone, and I talk you soon. Anyway, I already explained all my future project and the situation, the actual situation. So it will be quite simple anyway to follow the what is going on anyway. When I feel that everything is silent, everything is nice. I've already a video about the silence, that I love the silence. As soon as everything gets perfect back in silent, and a perfect atmosphere, normal background sound and so on, then I will post that silent video and so on. Anyway, is all, and actually I call it il profumo del silenzio, so the scent of silence and so on. So it's quite nice. Is all, and goodbye to everyone.